Alrighty, guys, we are back with another video, and this time something new that I've been wanting to bring to the channel. I really do hope you guys enjoy it. This is our first guide, and it is going to be on Halo Campaign Evolves All Skulls in the mainline missions and the bonus missions. This is something I wanted to bring to the community. I really do hope you guys enjoy. I wanted to make it as easy and simple to follow as I could, and I wanted all of them in one video so you don't have to go scouring for different guides. I do hope you like the information I provided, and I hope you guys enjoy the video. Thank you, and see you later. Alrighty, we are booting up into the Pillar of Autumn. All skulls are on Alpha. So we're loading in again on Rally Point Alpha. You shouldn't need to go anywhere else because you get all the skulls before you even get a weapon. As we boot up here, we're going to skip the cinematic. Going to go ahead and turn around here, head straight for this little jump puzzle here. Follow this bridge down, and it's exactly where the first skull is going to be. Very quick and easy. Then we're going to go ahead and move through the mission. What you'll see here is that we are just going to run, and essentially we want to get to the armory. That is the next skull location, and our goal here, make it to the armory and just pick up the skull. When we ran through this the first time, we happened to miss it. We had 3 of us. Very easy to miss, very easy to catch. So as you'll see here, we'll jump into the armory, and it is lit up right here on top of this shelf. We're going to jump up, grab that, and then right after that, we just have to sprint all the way to the bridge. We're going to run through everything here. No reason to fight, no reason to look at anything. Skip this cinematic, turn around, and walk into the bridge. And you'll see here, we'll go up front, we'll see this ladder, just jump on down, and we'll meet the first skull right here. That is all skulls on Pillar of Autumn. We are going to move into the second mission, Halo. All of these skulls are on Rally Point Charlie. Again, a very easy thing. We are going to put on the Acrophobia skull so we can utilize the flying around the map to make this a little quicker visually for everybody watching. As we load into Charlie, we are going to go ahead and fly around. There's a skull for each objective here, all right? You don't have to complete the objective to get the skull. We're going to go to the first one here on the right. We're going to land here. A lot of rock formations. And as we head to the back here, this is the path you want to go without the arachnophobia skull, where you want to follow this rock formation, jump up, and then you're going to see me cross here and just look directly down, and there is our first skull for this mission. We're going to grab this, and then you want to move to the right here. Going to skip here, just kind of fly through, and go ahead and show off to the left. We're going to cut into this little riverway, and what you are going to see is the next skull just floating there on top of a rock. Fly on over, pick up this skull, and right now we have the give and take. And next we are going to move to what I call the final objective of the mission. You're going to see me skip here, and this one is where we use the Acrophobia skull to our advantage. It is on top of where I'm aiming here. We are going to Arachnophobia over to the tower. Usually you can just run over here and do some grenade jumps right up here, but you don't necessarily need to if you already have this skull. Jump up here, and there is the last skull of the Halo mission. Gonna go ahead and grab that. It is Grunt Funeral. Don't mistake it for Grunt Birthday Party. Now we are gonna move into the Truth and Reconciliation, jump into the Alpha Rally Point. These skulls are pretty straightforward on this mission. They are separate from the first 2 missions, how we kind of did it. We're going to jump into Alpha here, and we are going to fly with the skull all the way over to collect this first skull. There are death barriers above, so you do still have to follow the walking path, but this allows you to skip most of it. Once you come around, you'll see that the beam there for the grav gate is up. Follow the exact path that I have here. You'll see that light right in front of me. I'm going to walk over to it, kind of see the angle of the light there. Then we're going to jump up on top of this rock, look down, and there's the skull we need. We're going to go ahead and jump down there,
pick up the skull, and we got the first skull of mission 3. As we go through, we are going to boot up into Bravo checkpoint. Now, really, you just have to play through this mission, okay? A lot of it is quick and easy. We're going to skip over here to the next objective, essentially. We battled through this room, and now we are just waiting. Okay, the next room after this is where the next skull is going to be. This door is going to open once these Marines are in their spot. And we are just going to sprint through, and I'm going to show you exactly what to do in this next room, okay? It involves a little bit of parkour, a little bit of jumping, but we'll see how it goes here. What you can tell here is that I have a lot of modifiers on. You are not limited when it comes to collecting skulls on what you have activated, okay? I wanted to make this as easy and as understandable as possible. Right here is going to be where this next skull is. You can see it there in the distance, and you see me doing the parkour. What you're also going to see is me fail the parkour, all right? And this is where the acrophobia skull comes in handy. I can go ahead and pick up the skull, and we have the second skull of the mission. Now, following that, we move into the vehicle bay here. And what you're going to do is just fight everybody within this distance while staying on this right side of the room. Once enough people are dead, this door that I keep looking at is going to open with a few grunts and an elite coming out of it. Go ahead and kill them, and let's move through here. When you get to the end of this hall is when you will locate the final skull of the mission. Very easy to miss, very easy to collect. There's the final skull. And with that, we move into the 4th mission. We're going to the Silent Cartographer. Forgot to put on my skull. Going to go ahead and put that on there. And then again, the skulls are very easy to miss. And I hope this guide does help you out. Booting in, we booted into Bravo checkpoint just so you can show how quickly it is. You don't have to fight through the beaches. These first 2 skulls are very close to each other. We leave out a Bravo point here, and we are going to turn left, and you're going to see this little cave here, and we are going to go ahead and sprint in there and find our first skull laying on the ground surrounded by crabs. Got the bandana skull. And then if you just follow the tunnel out, you'll be able to turn left. And then if you follow that, you'll reach these 2 hunters here. And all you have to do is ignore them and climb this construct here to be able to collect the next skull of this mission. It's right here at the top. Again, you can use the Arachnophobia skull, or that is what you get with this one. And now, for the next skull, we just have to move through the mission. Once we get through the mission, we are on Checkpoint Charlie, which is near the end of the game, or end of the level. And then if you just follow my path here, this is the exact path just to walk through quickly, get to the skull as fast as possible with the least amount of enemies in front of you. You come through here and you see this window here to our left. You want to jump through that. Just avoid the hunters because you're following this bright light. And when you get to the edge here, you're just going to look down over the edge and you will see the skull right there. We're going to go ahead and pick that up, and that is the last skull of the Silent Cartographer. Now we are going to move into Assault on the Control Room. This one is probably one of the biggest missions, so the skulls are pretty spread out. So you are going to bounce between the rally points, but very self-explanatory once you're here. We're diving into this checkpoint. You are just going to see me fly through quickly. And once you reach this door on this big bridge here, usually you have a tank. In my case, again, I'm just flying through here. You're going to go across the bridge to the left, and you see this hole in the ice. Just go over to the ice. Usually you use a tank to jump up there, and to get the jump up, I use my skull and collect the first skull of the mission. Now we're going to boot into the next checkpoint. You go through this ice tunnel. It is the only time you are through this ice tunnel. Go to the left here. Essentially, we are just flying around, showing you exactly the path that I take to get to this skull. And it would just avoid everyone. And you were going to reach these 3 arches here. And what you need to do is just go to the third and final arch of this section and then climb up. It is on top of it, very easy to miss. There's no reason you would be up here. But this is the second skull of this mission. And now we move into our final rally point. And this one, you don't even need the skull, even though I use it here. You go to the middle of this bridge right here, just look down, and then there it is, sitting on top of a rock under the bridge.
Don't let anyone else touch them.
And that is the cowboy skull. That is the final skull of the mission. Now we are going to move into 343 Guilty Spark. This one has a skull on each rally point. This one is very frustrating for players because you do have to go through each individual door because of how this mission is built. So knowing where this is helps enough. You start off in the forest here. You need to go to the Covenant ship that you will see here that has crashed. And then what you are going to do from this Covenant ship is turn left, follow this path here. Essentially, you are running through the darkness and you see this big tree to your right. You are going to turn and climb this rock right here. And once you get on top of this rock, you will see the skull floating there. That will be the first skull of 343 Guilty Spark. And then you can move into the building. This is the Bravo objective here. And you're going to see me just kind of fly through. You want to quickly go through the mission. This skull is a gimmick skull. And what you are going to see me do is just quickly run through the doors. And we're going to have essentially a throwback moment here where we see the lone survivor of the flood here. And you may miss this skull if you leave him here. But he's freaking out. And the whole point of this is that he ends up shooting you. In this case, he doesn't shoot me. He does miss every time. But when you shoot him, he drops a skull. And then you can get a skull, and it is called That's Just Wrong. Beyond there, we can go to the final doorway of the mission, where we go outside to get to the final tower. You're going to see me fly through here. But once you see the final tower here, what you're going to do is go to your right, and my best advice here is just to follow the edge of the map, the tree line, because what you are going to be looking for is a fallen tree. No other tree is fallen in this area except this one, and you're kind of going to see me look at it here, and then I'm going to fly towards the fallen tree, and then I'm just going to kind of show you how to get to the skull. Yes, you can use the flying one, but if you do not have the flying skull, you just jump on this rock to cross the tree and then get the final skull here. That is all three skulls for 343 Guilty Spark. Now we're going to move into the final mission here, our next mission here, the library. This one follows the same boat as 343 Guilty Spark. This is where the skulls are kind of spread apart. So hopefully this one makes sense as I'm playing through it here. Loading into the mission. This one, you have to open every door. So what you're going to see me do is open this door. I'm going to do a little skip here. When the first door opens on the first level, essentially if you follow the direction I go here, it leads directly to the first skull. So as you see, I'm just kind of showing off the area. We're going to go straight through this tunnel. And once we make it to the end of the tunnel, you will see me kill a few, turn around to kind of show off the area. This skull is very easy to miss. It kind of blends in. But I'm going to 180, and it is to my left when looking at the door, right up top there. Going to go ahead and grab this one. And that is the first skull of the mission. Now we are going to boot up Bravo rally point. And then essentially here, we just have to run through, get to the other side. We don't have to kill anybody here. We don't have to open any doors. This one is very quick. Straight from Bravo Point, you are going to come over here and see all these pillars standing up. I'm going to quickly show you where the skull is. It is right there in the middle. And then I'm going to go up this ramp to show you the jumping pattern here. Just jump to one of these pillars, and then you can jump straight across to the skull. That's the second skull of this mission. From here, we are going to boot up the final rally point, and then all you have to do is fight all the way to this bridge here. I recommend the flying skull at this point because you can just drop here and fly over here. And then all you have to do at this point, after the elevator's down, is walk completely straight. You'll see a bunch of the little floods coming at you. There's an overshield to your right, and then to your left is the final skull of this mission. Just kind of tucked in the corner, hard to see, but there you go, the famine skull. Now we're going to boot into 2 betrayals. This one, again, also a very big mission, but pretty straightforward where these skulls are. We do have 1 gimmick skull at the end of the mission, and we'll show that off. But going into here, you boot into the Alpha rally point, and my recommendation, again, with the modifications, just fly and run through here, because you don't necessarily have to kill people. All you have to do is open all the doors. Once you are outside, the skull is actually at the top of that tower. They tell you to use a Banshee, but if you have the flying skull, you just have to fly up. And it is right here at my feet. That is the first skull of the mission. Again, recommend the Banshee or the flying skull to get up there. Now we boot into the next one. As soon as you boot into this checkpoint, you just have to go right across, okay? And it is in this pile of flood just expanding. This is the second skull of the mission. This also is the, I believe, the Black Eye skull. Yes, the Black Eye skull. And then from this exact same checkpoint, we just need to fly to the giant tower. And then we go to the top of this tower, and you have to press this button. This isn't part of the main objective, but you press this button here, and you go across to this doorway, because now you've opened it. And the goal of here, and this is the gimmick, is you have to kill every single flood or covenant in each room. There's 3 rooms. There's this room, a hallway, and the final room. I'm going to skip to the final room here. Just go ahead and clear all the flood out. And then once all the flood are cleared out, the skull will spawn. And definitely the modifiers do help in this case because you can just spam them. But now I walk to the middle of the room, and there's the skull, and that's in the final room of the 3 rooms. That is the last skull of that mission. Now we're going to go into keys. This mission, again, has a gimmick skull in it. What you need to do is play heroic, have no modifiers on, and no benefits from skulls on. You have to be basic in this one. This is the one time you can't use it. Go ahead and essentially sprint through this mission. You have 3 to 5 minutes to get to the grav lift. And halfway through the grav lift, there's a jackal that you want to punch. But most of the time, everybody's fighting each other, so it's kind of, you know, you just dodging and weaving, right? You're going to see me utilize this camo here later on, and then also utilize an overshield. But if you follow my path here and just kind of follow the movements I'm making, more than likely you are going to make it towards the end and get this skull. I actually really like this feature, and I hope that they do more stuff like this if they remake the other games. But you'll see me kind of dodge and weave and just essentially want to get through this as fast as possible. Right up here is where the jackal is. I'm going to go ahead and melee him. And then continuously allow these guys just to fight each other. Nobody has to fight me. And then one thing I recommend leading up here is right after this shade turret, you're going to see me pass a group of flood, and then I'm going to slow down. The reason I slow down is because there's a flood guy up front here with a rocket launcher. And as you see, my active camo is almost gone, so there's just a chance I die. I'm going to kill him at a distance. That way I can just now sprint without risk of dying. Most of everybody here has shotguns or weapons that don't really impact me. And then I come through here, and I recommend just running and picking up this overshield. This objective is to kill every single covenant leading up to this grav lift. The grav lift won't let you go until all the covenant are dead. So kind of take your time. Do kill some flood just so you have some leeway here. You see me miss a sticky, but most of the guys are focused on the flood. The only downfall to this is the elites have swords and they're ultra elites. So there is just a chance that they do just charge at you and you do not complete the objective. You'll see me here kill these last 2 elites. And then I kind of sit there, and what you want to do is look directly up as you go up the grav lift. Once you go up the grav lift, the skull actually spawns at the top. So you'll see it spawn here at the top, and then you hold your grab button, and that's the first skull of the mission. Now we're going to reload. I actually changed back to add my modifiers. I load into Bravo rally point, and I'm back on easy because I don't need to be on heroic or legendary anymore. So now you're going to see me kind of sprint through here because the first goal is right in this room. We drop down. You essentially just need the door to my right to open up right there where all the flood came out. You're going to go in here, and there's a destroyed wraith. What you have to do is actually just jump over the boxes right there. And in the back of this room by this door to our left is going to be the next skull. Now we'll boot into later in the mission, right before we get to keys. We're going to load this, and this is the second gimmick of the game. You actually just have to melee keys a lot. Okay.
Multiple Covenant and flood groups
yes, you do have to melee keys. It is an old gimmick from the original game, and now they brought it back in the terms of getting a skull. So you melee him, you beat the skull, and it is the Pinata skull. So they got a lot of jokes in this one. Now we go into the final mission of the main game, the Maw. This one's pretty straightforward. You need to go into the Bravo rally at point. And going into the Bravo rally point, you just kind of need to run. Don't worry, like if you're on easy with the modifiers, you don't necessarily need anything. Go back to the original spawn room here. And it's funny, you kind of come in looking at the skull. The skull is in that far corner. You're going to see me hit the bridge. And then from hitting the bridge, I just hit the jump up right there. Now, from this point, we are going to move to the second skull, which again is just running from the Bravo rally point. But you need to move into the light the fuse part of the mission.
Engine room located.
And then in this engine room, I'm going to point exactly where you need to go. So I fly up here. You need to go to this platform here. And you can kind of see the skull right there. So you need to drop to this ledge, and you have to crouch, and then you can pick up the skull. Those are the 2 skulls before the Warthogs. Now, to get the last skull of the mainline game, you jump in the Warthog, and you have to kind of pay attention while you're going through it, or you might miss it. When you come around this corner, you start into your first tunnel, and essentially, you're looking for the second hallway, right? Not the second doorway, but the second hallway from this point on. So right here, you're going to see one doorway, which leads to a hallway. And when you come around, you see the second doorway. It's the same hallway. Alrighty. But the moment you hit this third doorway, you know you've reached the second hallway. All you got to do is jump out of your Warthog. And you definitely have enough time to do this and still beat the game. And there's the last skull of the mainline game. Now we are going to move into our bonus missions. We are starting on the first bonus mission. This one, you have to just play through the whole mission. But all 3 of them you really do. There's no reason to not if you haven't gotten a skull or haven't played it. So running into the bonus mission, I'm going to show you where the first skull is, but there are barriers that stop you. Essentially, we start the first mission leading up here. And you're kind of like gate kept here. But up here on this bridge is that first skull. Right there. But as you go through the mission, you're going to see me fly over here. This is where the 2 hunters are of the mission. You walk up this ramp. The hunters will spawn here. I used the flying skull, so I got here before the hunters did, funny enough. And then you just want to keep running forward. That door is where we want to go through. Without the flying skull, you do take that door that I shot last. You go through this door, and we end up back at the beginning of the mission, right? There's the first skull of the mission. Now we are going to go further into the mission, Now here, you want to play through this mission until you get to the training room, right? So you're gonna see me skip a little bit here. I get to the training room and I grab camo and I just fly up top. So in this training room, you can fight through and get up here, but it's this far door over here. You'll see me run through it. And now this is where actually Johnson comes through. He says he has the high ground. He actually comes through this door, which is why it's open. And then you'll see me find the next skull right over here. There are some elites coming. I do kill them just to not have to deal with them, essentially. But that is the second skull of the first bonus mission. Now we boot into the end of the game where all the brutes spawn, and you do just have to fight your way. This skull is at the end of the level completely. At this point, you're waiting on this left door to open up. You kill the elite and the grunt, and when you walk in here, it is to your left, and that is the last skull of the final mission. Now, booting into the most dangerous game, the second one. This one has a gimmick skull. Okay, the first skull here is going to be a gimmick skull, and then the other two will follow suit. You can get the second skull while playing through this game and collecting the first one, but the first one I'm going to tell you about is one where you have to kill or damage a high priority target, and you're going to see him at off rip here as I come around the corner to the right. It is a gold elite, and when you see him, he always spawns here. You need to pop his shield. Then we're going to go to the second one he spawns at. We go to this bridge, and you'll see me run up and have to kill him up here. He's really far at the doorway, and the Wraith moves in my way, but pop his shield there. Now I move to the third time he spawns, which is up here to the left. These are very key points in the mission. Now that I popped his shield, I need to kill every enemy in this area. Once every enemy in this area is eliminated, I will show you where the skull spawns. Once everybody has been eliminated, the skull spawns right in the middle of this tower. That is the first skull of the mission. Now, if we go back to the bridge that we were at, I'm going to show you right here. This is the second skull of the mission. We're going to go through, and instead of crossing the bridge, you're going to turn around and see that there's explosive barrels. Blow up both of them. This door will open to an armory, and the skull is right in the middle here. Now we are going to move into the final skull of the mission. It is right after you cross the Mind the Gap bridge. You can either do a skill jump with grenades, but it is right up there, or you can fly like I am. We're going to fly up here, collect this final skull here before we jump into the final mission. We are going to jump into the final mission, Heavy Burden. The last 3 skulls of the day. Hopefully this guide has helped you guys out as much as I want it to, and I want to support the community. This is awesome. I love doing this, so please do leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Alrighty, we jump into the mission. We are going to have to run through until we see this moment of 2 bridges. But instead of following the main bridge, we go left here and follow this side bridge. Kill the elites. And at the end of this side bridge, you guys will notice there's a skull at the end of it. Go ahead and pick that up, and that's the first skull of the mission. Then we're going to go ahead and boot up to the Bravo rally point. Just going to play through the mission here until we reach this doorway to the 2 jackals to an open room, and you can see the skull right there on top of those pillars. If you go exactly where I'm going, it is a simple jump over to the rock and to grab the Grunt birthday party skull. They make you work for it. Now, the final skull of the game, we boot into the final rally point. We need to release everybody, get to the lifeboat essentially here. I've skipped all the way to the point where I've already moved the lifeboat to the power point where we need to put power into it. You're gonna see me just kind of battling it out just so I can show just where to go. Once we get this boat moving, you're gonna see this next room has a bridge into it, and a lot of the guides tell you jump to the left on the platform. It is not this first platform after this room. It is going to be the final platform after this room. So you're gonna see me just kill people on the bridges here because I am not worried about this section. I skip it. After the bridge is this room here. You're gonna see me use the flying skull just to kind of show it is to the left in this back corner near the locked door. The final skull. If you do it the normal way when you jump over, you are out of bounds and you have a time limit. So I recommend the flying skull.
Alrighty, that's the end of the video. That is all the skulls from all the missions. I really do hope you guys enjoyed. Please leave a like and comment down below and subscribe for more. There is some more videos coming. We are going to have a terminals video as well as more Halo content. Hope you guys do enjoy, and we'll see you in the next one.